out of alignment with God and being in a situation that I shouldn't have been in and living a life that I shouldn't have been living. And then disaster happens. And then we get bitter. And then we say, God, why has this happened? And this was me yesterday. I was like, why has this happened to me? Why has this happened to me? Why have you let this happen? And I'm very careful to do it with a humble heart. And I think God's big enough to take it. And I'm always asking him questions like, I can't believe this has happened. Sometimes I just want to pretend it doesn't exist. It hasn't happened, and I want to live in fairy la la land. But, that's life. Things happen and they're devastating. This was devastating for Naomi. So much so that she starts to take on the wrong identity. When she starts to call herself Mara, God showed me that's not a name that God gave her. This is an identity that Naomi starts to take on because she becomes bitter. She let her heart become bitter. She's stating that she's bitter. And we know God does not give us a spirit of bitterness or of anger or of hate. Like, that's just not God's character. So where did this come from? So lies start to be getting told in Naomi's head, and she starts to take on the wrong identity of bitterness, and she actually changes her name. And there's lots of examples in this in the Bible about people's names being changed, like Jacob to Israel, because of God's blessing. And they start to get mixed up in their identities, and Naomi's having an identity crisis. And she starts to profess that she's Mara because God has judged her and brought bitterness and brought her back empty. And we need to be careful of that. We need to be careful not to sit in bitterness because it's not of God. It says in Timothy, 2 Timothy, I think it is, God gave us a spirit of power and of love and a sound mind. We are not to take on the identity of what the liar is telling us, the lies of we're desolate, we have nothing, God's been bad to me, he's took us all away, he's judged me. Those are the wrong things. That's not the truth. That's not what God has for us. And we're not to sit in that bitterness and not to profess the wrong identity and the wrong name over us. Because it says in the Bible that we are a royal priesthood, we have authority.